I never met her. I did have dinner with Ben Bradlee and Sally Quinn one night with Nora Ephron in Washington when we were making Heartburn. But I never knew her. I knew of her. And I sort of knew of her in her fully formed, most formidable time, when she was already fully herself. This film sort of centers on the 2 weeks in her life when she was not so certain, when she was most challenged, and before the Washington Post was one of the pillars of our journalistic. Do you have the papers?
Not yet.
Well, the news comes at us so fast, doesn't it? And we rely on these entities, these credible, hardworking, well-researched entities like the Washington Post and the New York Times to sort out the fiction from the fact. We count on them to secure our freedoms.
That she doesn't have the resolve to make the tough choices.
Thank you, Arthur, for your frankness. Well, I think it's very dangerous to make people doubt everything, because it's a very dangerous, well, then all that leads you is emotion. And emotion is valuable. That's, as an actor, it's my stock in trade, but we have to beware where our passions lead us. You have to be kind of cool and just seek out the facts.
The classified documents of the war.
The Times has 7,000 pages detailing how the White House has been lying about the Vietnam War for 30 years.
I didn't know him extremely well, but because I had spent just enough time with him, when I read his autobiography, A Good Life, and when I saw him in all of the sort of documentary interviews that we had in order to prepare for the movie, I saw a guy I knew.
Is that legal?
What is it you think we do here for a living, kid?
There's a document that existed there. There wasn't anything that was, the only thing diabolical that was inside it was that people had lied about what was going on in Vietnam for as long as they had, but it was so far in the past. It wasn't like they were breaking national secrets that were going to put anybody's lives at risk. It's like small potatoes compared to everything else that was going on in the world. And the idea that somehow a presidential administration would try to literally go counter to something as important as the First Amendment of our own Constitution in order to quell the publishing of a degree of truth, that seems almost otherworldly right now. It's almost impossible to imagine.
Was barred from publishing any more classified documents dealing with the Vietnam War.
If you publish, we'll be at the Supreme Court next week.
Well, it was the first time the Nixon administration, tried to stop something from happening. It was, I think perhaps an opening salvo into what was going to be this logic that says, we can't do our job if you know our secrets. But what the other side of that, it says, are you mean to telling me that if we knew your secrets, you wouldn't have this job? So it's like someone is always trying to maintain a status quo, and someone is always trying to upset the status quo. And it's a matter of that. Isn't that what the job of the free press is meant? And isn't that what the framers of our Constitution actually made? You cannot have a free and democratic government without the examination of a free press. You can call them liars. You can say that's not true. You can say it never happened. And in fact, the Nixon administration did that all through the Watergate examination. They said, that never happened, they're wrong.
What are you going to do, Mrs. Graham?